Welcome to J.R. Perry's Love Drop Hour, a highly sensual, warm drop of lovely music with magical drippings for your ears, baby. So come on, take a ride, let's glide, let's melt inside the sweet flavors as we relax and release in the Love Drop Hour. You've entered the Love Drop Hour, baby. We're gonna play some real beautiful music for you. We got the OJs, Tina Marie, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, Stylistics. So sit back, baby, and relax in the Love Drop Hour. Yeah, don't let nothing drip on you now. Love drops.
This is your man, J.R. Perry, coming live on 22.3. We got a good show today, and I want to send a shout-out to a sister that was going to come on our show, Miss Candy DeBoer Mitchell. We bless you, sister. She's ill. She has a family member that's ill, but we're going to keep it going, and we want to send our prayers out to her loved one. But I want everybody to sit back, hold up, and keep it hot, because we're going to keep it on Love Drops right now. Check out the music, and I'll be right back with you.
22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio, the station that has more fun.
okay. We're doing the doggone thing here on Love Drops, and we're going to keep the thing moving, and we want everybody to sit back and relax and enjoy the drop.
Gary Johnson's Media, LLC. Gary Johnson is the Chief Executive Creative Editor of Gary Johnson's Media. Gary Johnson's background extends in government and intelligent community. Gary Johnson is the publisher, producer, entrepreneur, talk show host. GaryJohnsonsMedia.com. That's GaryJohnsonsMedia.com. Gary Johnson's Media.
A very hot topic. This is Sickle Cell Month, and I have Miss Nita Thompson. Are you on the line, Nita?
I am here, and thank you so much, JR, for inviting me to participate.
Well, you know, I had to have you on, sis, because this is a very serious topic, and we are in Sickle Cell Month. So let's talk about some things. You are a parent of a sickle cell child. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay, yeah, I have sickle cell in my family, and also I've taken on the role as an auntie for so many patients diagnosed because the family just doesn't understand, and the family believes whatever the doctor says. If the doctor says that the child is lying, then the parents believe the child is lying, but we know the truth.
That's right. And give me incidents like, you know, because a lot of people may not be familiar with some of the prognosis and the diagnosis of what sickle cell is.
Okay, well, sickle cell is a disease that you're born with. Both parents have to pass a gene on to their child for them to have the disease. There are over 1,500 different types of sickle cell globally. It has nothing to do with black folks or Africa. It has to do with the equator. And we were dying out as a people, so our bodies mutated the sickle cell trait gene to keep us from dying out. So those that have the trait, we're protected from getting very, very sick to dying from malaria. But those with the disease who are diagnosed or those with neither one are more prone to getting very, very sick to dying from malaria.
So, yeah, basically, for people to understand, sickle cell is not a racial thing. It's a thing pertaining to the malaria belt. So those who were ancestors that were in the malaria belt, which is in various places in the world, from Greece to Africa to China to different places, wherever malaria is, thus came sickle cell. And those who are the ones who have the trait, where two parents would have to have the trait in order for the child, 1 out of 3 children might have sickle cell anemia. And
okay, wait a minute. I got to back you up on that a minute because most people say that, but that's not what they mean.
Okay.
It means there's 1 in 4 chances that every child that the parents can have sickle cell. And I know some parents that have 3 children, all are diagnosed.
Oh, okay. So they basically told us wrong.
Exactly.
So, well, school us, sis, give us more in-depth information, because sickle cell is the oldest inherited disease on Earth, but yet not many know about it. You know what I mean? And that's why I wanted you to come on the show.
Thank you so much. And see, the thing about it, when I say, and I'm from America, born and raised, Los Angeles, Inglewood, California, but I got to tell the truth, gonna keep on telling the truth, and I'm the tattletale for sickle cell.
Right.
So let's bring it on. These people don't understand here in America, or they're just lying, and they know they're lying. But sickle cell goes back far further than 1910, as people want to say in America. It was talked about. It was written about. The first time it was written about in Western medical books was 1910. But slaves had it. The enslaved had it. We had it way before we were thought about being enslaved by these fools. You know, somebody tracked it back to the 1400s. They say King Tut had sickle cell.
Right.
You know, so let's call it right and stop being stupid. Because, listen, they put sickle, let me rephrase that. The they, quote unquote, these people didn't care about sickle cell because the first person written about it wasn't even an American. This dude came over from another country to go to dental school in Chicago, and he came from the islands. Mr. Noel, and Mr. Noel came with leg ulcers on his legs. You know? So then somebody's going to finally write about us, but it's been here. And right quick, in the Bible it says who's first will be last and who's last will be first. Right now.
That's right. And
folks are looking at sickle cell to cure it because it's only a one gene mutation. After they cure sickle cell, then they're going to start working on these other diseases. So the people used to ignore sickle cell.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, because they ignorantly were telling people only black folks were diagnosed. Let me tell you, the Godfather, the son of the Godfather, I think his name was Michael. You know why he didn't marry an Italian?
Right.
He married a white girl, right? He didn't marry no Italian. Because those Italians made a law in New York that an Italian can't marry an Italian because their babies were dying by the age of 5.
Yeah, because Sicilians have sickle cell. Thalassemia, correct.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a type of sickle cell.
And Nita, this is another thing. I want to fight for the fact that people don't know that, because they think it's just a black disease, but we have our Italian brothers being ignored, Hispanics being ignored, and many other ethnic groups being ignored. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so they are treating them. Now, one thing I can say, they will see it in the so-called black people. But what about the ones that we're talking about?
Yeah, the ones that say, oh, you can't be diagnosed with sickle cell because you're not black. More ignorant. Right.
And the fact that it is the oldest inherited disease, they need to understand it is not a color thing. It's an inherited thing. It's through the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And we need more and more organizations to stand up for sickle cell. What do you think?
Yeah, well, we need people in general. We need people to donate to the people doing. We need people to understand. And I'm at an event today.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to this lady who was saying there is this other lady, never heard of her, but I will look her up because she said that how can I say this? She took on the role of a financier for this young man because he wore his parents out. They were poor, and she more or less adopted him and helped financially. See, people don't understand that people who are diagnosed with sickle cell are chronic illness or chronic pain who can't come to work every day, or they get fired because they can't get to work every day.
Right.
We cannot make these people hopeless. They are somebody, and they are very, very smart. They're passionate. They want to be, quote unquote, normal, but they're born with this disease that hinders them. It's no fault of their own, so they shouldn't be blamed.
Right.
But people aren't willing to hire people and help and work. We need to meet our warriors, sickle cell patients, because they're always fighting somebody or their own bodies. Those warriors need help. They need people to adopt them. They need if a dentist would adopt one sickle cell patient, that would be horrendous. Reason why? You can have crisis in your mouth. Your teeth get affected. And I never will forget that the emergency department pulled out my friend's teeth because he had an infection. They weren't talking about putting him back. All they did was pulled him out and made him look like a derelict. And he was treated like a derelict. All because he was diagnosed with sickle cell. And they did the minimum. You know, it's like if you're going to take something, give something back. They could have coordinated to work out something. You know, insurance doesn't even look at dental as it's part of the health, and it really is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. And what would you say about the providers on the protocol for the patients? They need to up the ante on that as well.
They indeed do. And in fact, I think I finally found something to form a class action suit. And that's because these doctors know and knew. And see, when they admitted that they know and they knew that our sickle cell patients, or any patient for that matter, who's in a lot of pain, their blood pressure is going to go up.
Right.
Well, they know it. So why would they give a person blood pressure pills like it's going to bring the blood pressure down when they're not addressing the pain?
And that seems to be the problem. From my experience as a parent of son with sickle cell, I noticed that they do everything kind of backwards and not really addressing the issue. And I think they hyper the issue more. They inflammatory the issue more versus going to the root of the problem. I've noticed that. Yeah.
You're right. See, the thing about it, when you go to the emergency department, they have doctors in there, doctors that treat adult patients. Some of the hospitalists aren't that you see once you're admitted to the hospital. They're ignorant, or they just don't care. They don't give a darn. And it's like if you have a migraine headache, what is 1/4 of one aspirin going to do to help that headache? That's the same thing they're doing when they give a little bit. Well, let's try 5.5 milligrams. Now, here's the truth that they know. And see, can't nobody tell me they don't, because they do learn the bare minimum in school. They know that our sickle cell warriors metabolize their pain meds different, meaning if you give somebody 1 milligram, their body may discharge half of that milligram. So they're only giving them 0.5 milligrams, and they know it, and they ain't going to do a darn thing. Just like if you had a migraine headache, 1/4 of an aspirin is not going to do anything. Now, this is the thing, though, too. There's a difference in a hospitalist, a specialist, and an expert. Our sickle cell warriors don't see experts. They see specialists. And specialists maybe don't even really focus on sickle cell. They focus more on cancer or something else. So you got these people, and I know because I just was on the phone overhearing this arrogant doctor say, well, I know what I know because I'm a hematologist. Just because she's a hematologist didn't mean dick squat because she never heard of elliptocytosis. Now, most people won't know what elliptocytosis is, but that hematologist sure better, because it's a form of sickle cell. It responds to people. They just aren't basically black people or African Americans, but throughout the continent and the globe, there are people that are diagnosed with this disease caused by malaria or in response to malaria, where the blood cells look like a person's pinky. So just go ahead and throw up that pinky. Now, if you got a pinky and you have sickle cell S gene, or that's a type of sickle cell. I call it sickletosis. These people want to argue her down. You don't have sickle cell, yet the experts figured it out these specialists still don't know dick squat.
So how can we get a movement going where we get more experts at these hospitals for our patients all over America and actually all over the world? You know, because this is not just an American thing. And,
You're right.
And
right.
like I said earlier, who I really are feeling for is the Italians, because no one is acknowledging the fact that they have this particular matter, as well as people from India, you know, that has this matter, and you know, the list goes on. I mean, you know, they're actually killing these people because they're not diagnosing them with sickle cell. And as you know, we have various types of sickle cell. We have SC, SS, and thalassemia, and there's probably some more I don't know about.
Yes, there are a whole lot. Now, let me tell you, when in 2008, the UN, and it had nothing to do with America, but the United Nations made World Sickle Cell Day on June 19th. They did it on purpose. It had nothing to do with, again, America. It was because of the International Sickle Cell Organization out of Paris, France. They had been working with other countries, not all in Africa either. There were 20 countries, and they named it on June 19th because of the people in America, because of Juneteenth. And they were looking to America to fund it.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
yeah. But let me tell you something right quick. The Vietnamese War, they sent our brothers over there. Our brothers left so many children diagnosed with sickle cell till it wasn't even funny.
Wow.
Because they didn't know that the Vietnamese people also had it.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we said, wherever malaria is sickle cell, and you know, like you said, they coined the name sickle cell in 1920 or something out of Chicago, and I just want to break down the word from what I understand. The sickle is like what you were saying. The red blood cells turns into a sickle, and the word cell means it's like a box, so it's stuck, you know. And this is the pain, like a razor, if you will, a ratchet, sort of like you know, like a icicle type of thing. And this, in these sharp hemoglobin red blood cells get stuck in various places of the people's body, and so it's a lot of pain. Is all I can say.
It's a lot of pain. Anywhere the blood flows, meaning in the eyes, the mouth, any organ, anywhere throughout the body, the blood flows. You can have a blockage there, and two. The thing about sickle cell is they say, oh, they all look like Christmas moons. No, never, ever. It's just laziness, easy. Actually, the blood cell deflates if the oxygen goes out, and however that blood cell looks after the oxygen goes out, it gets hard and sticky. No more oxygen can come into it. It's that way for the rest of its existence. You know, so it's not like on anybody's expressway or freeway or anywhere during the traffic when more people are on the road and you have an accident, and then nobody can even go on the side to get to the people at the accident. You know, that's just like it's described in the body, so then no oxygen can go past that area. And it kills that area for the remainder of that person's life because there's no blood flow going there. So it kills that area. I mean, it's crazy what sickle cell does to people. And it's crazy how a doctor or nurse would laugh at a person in humongous pain, or ambulance driver. Another friend called the ambulance. They laughed at him because it was so painful. He was crying. They mocked him. They mocked him in the emergency department when he had me on speakerphone. So I was talking to the doctors and hopefully educating them. They were snickering and the guy had the phone pointed up very high. They were pointing up there, making faces and gestures and laughing when I was seriously telling them how to treat my friend. My friend is dead now. And too many of our people are dying. And here's something else that the doctors do, and they're too ignorant. They must be doing it on purpose because they're supposed to know. Now, if they don't know and they're really ignorant, I'm scared. I'm very scared for a lot of people because the doctors know, do not give iron to a patient diagnosed with sickle cell because iron hardens the organs. And then the doctor goes to the family and says, well, they were diagnosed with sickle cell and they weren't expected to live long anyway. They died from organ damage or complications from sickle cell. Let me tell you, I know people in their 80s. When I started working with the seniors, and our poor babies are thinking, the doctors still to this day, 2025, we got doctors telling children, you're not going to live past 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we got 80, 83, but I tell you, they're different. They've lived long enough to know different. And that's why this month I said our program has got to be pulling our youngsters and the elders together so that our youngsters can become these elders. And let me tell everybody out there listening, people are looking to sickle cell patients to cure the other diseases. So if y'all got a disease, or your family member, or your friend, loved one, neighbor, church person, whomever, may have a illness that is more than one gene mutation, because the only one is sickle cell. Speak up.
Yes,
Tell them to treat that person right. Because if they don't, if there's nobody to run these tests on and be cured, y'all gonna have a problem.
That's right, sis. Look, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come right back. I'm loving what we're talking about. We right back with Miss Nita Thompson. We're talking about sickle cell. JR.
Welcome to tune in every Monday at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. to JR Perry's Love Drop on 22.3 Sickle
This radio station worldwide.
So hot.
22.3 Sickle Radio.
My pocket's on fire. Come with me, baby. I'll take you higher. I work so hard, but I'll party harder. Drinks on me, girl, don't even bother. On Friday night, everything's alright.
I am here. Can't get rid of me that easy.
All right, my friend. You know, we've been talking a long time, you know, and I really appreciate you a lot. You know, you've been very helpful to me and my journeys, and you were always there. And I appreciate you 100% in the fact that you go out and you service the people. You know, I commend you, and you're just a mother. You know, I'm just a father. You know, but we're doing our part, and I'm hoping that the nonprofits and the organizations really step up. You know, I really do, because you know, I look at the sickle cell organizations. They've been around much longer than most organizations, nonprofits. Matter of fact, I believe it started in 1957. The sickle cell cure, sickle cell anemia organizations. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I understand.
You're right, and that one was the first one out of California. Sickle Cell Disease Foundation of California was the second name.
Okay.
But it was sickle cell. It was made by doctors, actually.
Yeah, I believe Dr. Wheaton out of Detroit. I believe he was one of the founders of the organization, and it just went to various chapters, and I challenged them to rise up and let people know more about what they're doing. You know, I know there's some that's really doing good. I know out in Alabama, they're really doing it. And, you know, there's 5 chapters out there, and, you know, they're doing the doggone thing. And I want to see, even in Louisiana, I want to see more organizations. I want to see more PSAs, commercials, and educational points, you know. And I know you're working with some folks there in California. What are you guys up to now?
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I work with not only people in California, I work with people nationally and globally.
That's right.
And what I'm really attempting to do is change laws.
Okay.
So I've been working with a group in Illinois, and we got a pain law passed. You know, when we get with these people who are really focused and they understand, they truly understand, they can see it, witness, or feel it themselves to know it to be true. What I vision is the thing that we really need to do is, through our politicians, hold all of these hospitals accountable.
Yeah, I agree with that, you know.
I believe we ought to have online. We can do it real easy. Have it online. We could have had it during COVID, but, you know, when people were really stuck in their homes, but just the same, online, and have a sickle cell not an organization, but have us coordinated so that all of the experts can come out, and you can have more Q&As than anything, because you know when you go to all these meetings, the last thing they do is a little bit of question and answer. We need major questions and answers, and we need people to step up and not say, well, each case is individual, but y'all know things that are common. You know that when a person is diagnosed with sickle cell, first of all, you're dang gone right. I almost said it. You're dang gone right. They are drug seekers. They're seeking drugs to help them with this excruciating pain. What they are not are drug abusers, because their butt wouldn't be in the hospital if they didn't have to be. They got meds at home, but the meds at home don't work a lot, and some of them don't have meds at home. Ever since this big opioid thing happened, now no doctors wants to give prescriptions for home meds. So people have to come into the emergency department because there's nowhere else. They don't have drugs nowhere else. I know that I honestly have to drive my patient. Praise God, I got a car and it's still working, and, I can afford the gas. We have to go 99 miles one way, JR.
Wow.
One way.
Wow, that's crazy.
To go get meds. If the doctor will go ahead and send them in, and you have problems sometimes with different people who are working in the pharmacy. So some pharmacists give people the third degree plus, whereas some that know the patient, knows the diagnosis. You know, I mean, it's crazy because they use the excuse, oh, well, we're out, we're backlogged. And when that hurricane stuff happened in Puerto Rico, I believe it hit Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the manufacturing companies work for these opiates, so they didn't have them.
Wow.
You know, just like when COVID hit, they were telling our patients, "Don't go to the hospital." Oh, don't go. Well, if you had to go to the hospital, you better get your butt in the hospital, regardless of what they're saying. And also, if nobody did, then the hospital list would be saying, "Well, see, I told you they weren't here. They didn't come here during COVID, so they really didn't need the medicine. They really are, you know, seeking the meds." Hey, you know, all through COVID.
So basically, you're telling me that they assuming that these people are just drug addicts, and you know this, and they're not needing this to alleviate the pain, and they know that they're having pain. This is torture. You know, they do understand. They understand that they have to have this to subside the pain. Your regular buffering or aspirin is not going to do it. You know what I mean? And it's not like the patients even want that, but that's what helps subside the pain. You know, and I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it just by being a parent. The difference, you know, from a child. Because this starts, you know, very early. Like I believe when they first are born, I think it really kicks in the third month. That's when you get the hand and arm syndrome, you know. And, you know, and you being a parent, you understand. And I think our sons are almost in the same generation. How old is your son now?
He's 37. But let me tell you something. It doesn't affect everybody like that. And that's the scariest part. Because you would think, like 6 months old, okay, then they start crying. Oh, and I won't tell you about sickle cell and slavery or being enslaved, and that's a whole nother story. But let me tell you, some people don't have the major crisis until something happens in their life that brings it on. Like for women, it can be a pregnancy. They say
trauma could bring it on.
Stress of the beauty.
Wow.
Different kind of stresses that just brings it on. And some people manage it, and then upon autopsy, they're told, well, they were diagnosed with sickle cell. Oh, no wonder. We got the other thing too is, and let me be clear on this: the tests are different. An electrophoresis test only will do for sickle cell. Thalassemia, erythrocytosis, other illnesses is a different test.
Oh, wow.
You know, so we got people that the doctors, instead of helping, that are trying to disprove that the patient has anything. You know, you go to the hospital and you say, I'm in all this pain, and they want to say, well, let me run another electrophoresis test. We had a doctor doing that at Cedars Hospital. Every time the patient would come in, the dang on doctor would run the same test. Now, see, that's abuse. That's abusing his power over her medical insurance.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just dinging their insurance.
Yes. Wow. And the insurance don't say anything. The doctors medically manslaughter patients, and the insurance don't say anything. The insurance go ahead and just pay them. What is all that about? You know, it's like, oh, they think that, and that's why I say sickle cell is the cash cow of the medical community. It's like the community can do whatever they want to our patients. They can torture them, insurance pay them. They kill them, the insurance pay them. They call them hospital hoppers. They use all these derogatory terms.
Hospital hoppers.
Now let me tell you, if you took your car in to a reputable place and they screw your car up or don't fix it, and you take it to another reputable place, nobody don't call you a auto repair hopper.
No.
But yet, you go to a hospital and they don't do ditch squat. And you have to leave there and you go to another hospital that treats you better, and they're going to say, oh, they're hospital hopping, like that's a bad thing. If you're trying to save your life and get out of all this pain, aren't you supposed to care about your life and go somewhere else where somebody's going to treat you right? Why would you continue to go? And people continue to go because that's the only hospital they have close to them. They don't drive. They ain't no buses. They ain't bad. They can't afford no Uber.
Wow.
Don't get me started.
Well, you're already there, so you might as well stay where you are, because, you know, you got a lot of passion, sis, and I understand it. Let's talk about this thing over in California. I'm just here in Los Angeles. I think it's pneumonia going on over there, and that right there kind of concerns me, you know.
Yeah. Well, we have had a lot of people dealing with respiratory issues. And they're talking about, and see, and you know when you got a bug or something because your temperature goes up. We have doctors and hospitals that because they're not looking at it, they don't want to treat it. They tell our patients, oh, nobody wants to deal with you. You're too much of a problem, so why don't you go somewhere else? They discharge them. They ain't did nothing. They in as bad a shape as when they went to the hospital, and the insurance pays the hospital. And they got to go find somewhere else on their own. I've got people a lot. I sit up with people, and we go online and start just researching and finding, well, this happens. Well, what are the symptoms of this? And you look and see the symptoms. The people come in with the symptoms. These dang on doctors, we do their work.
This is terrible. What hospital out there in Los Angeles really supports sickle cell, I wonder, these days?
Besides the pediatric hospitals, none. There are no adult hospitals because they make it so the medical, the state, the federal, make it so hard. These people are on their own with their medical licenses. So each individual, because of their medical license and their lifestyle and their children going to colleges and them wanting to take their wife on a vacation, or they want to get another room added to their 5-room home, bedroom home, which means they got more rooms than the 5 rooms. But they're looking at their life, their lifestyle, and that the thorn is sickle cell. That's the trouble. That's a trouble illness. Nobody wants to deal with sickle cell. And the Department of Justice, the DOJ, don't make it any easier because the DOJ goes out to these doctors and threatens or intimidates the doctors and the hospital, saying, don't give a whole lot of pain meds, and then the CDC will say, well, we're not talking about sickle cell. But then the doctors say, well, hey, I'm not going to be the one to split it up. Hey, I put them all in the same category. And then if Americans with Disability Act, sickle cell patients are under. So if sickle cell patients would, once they get out the hospital, actually write that complaint form, but they won't, because if they do, they'll be retaliated when they go back to the same hospital. It's like it's a no win-win situation. But just to say, the Americans with Disability Act, anybody that files a complaint, the Department of Justice has to look at them, has to go in and review it and do the research to see what was happening. So if the Department of Justice is telling the doctors don't give the patient opioids, and then the patient can't get no opioid, and they complain, the Department of Justice is all up in the mix, and that's our government for you.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. It looked like a class action suit to me because we got everything. The doctors know that the pain will go, that the pain, unless they deal with the pain's going to go up. And then, but it's even more than that. When you got nurses, the doctors tell the nurses what to do, and the nurses decide how they're going to do it. So if a nurse thinks that you're fooling, and the doctor's an idiot because the doctor's giving you a strong dose of opiate, so the nurse can say, well, I don't believe that person's real. That doctor's stupid. So what I'm going to do is just leave and come back in an hour or two. By that time, the patient's pain has shot all the way up, and anything medically before done don't count. They exit all because they let the pain shoot up so high, it takes days to get it back down. So they don't even do, you're supposed to give a large dose of med and then lower the dose as the days go after you get it under control. Not one day, then you start lessening because the pain's still up there. And let me tell you, true fact, General Hospital, Los Angeles downtown, back in the day, when the charge nurse had the key to the medicine chest, every time a sickle cell patient would come, that charge nurse would disappear. Come back later. Oh, you needed your medicine? Oh, well, I'm here now. It wasn't until she experienced pain. See, half these people don't know. That's why I say, I wish you sickle cell pain. I wish you. Because then you'd understand. If nobody has ever had that type of pain, you wouldn't know what pain is.
Right.
Not until that lady had pain and she had to bring her butt to work did she understand sickle cell. Yeah, you can live through the pain, but remember, if you don't treat it, then it kills that area and it creates chronic pain.
Wow.
Hey, let me tell you, when I have to get on an airplane, I tell the stewardesses or whoever, whatever their name is called, politically correct, y'all be it for me, please. And I tell the pilot, do you know that people diagnosed with sickle cell should not sit in the front of the plane? And they look at me crazy and they say, why is that? I say, because of the way gravity presses down on the body. You feel it as soon as you shoot up. And when you're in the front of the plane, you're getting that G-force. And then the last time, one of the last trips I took, the stewardess said, you know what? I had a sickle cell patient, and she was sitting in the second row, and we had to give her emergency oxygen and this and that and the other. So where is the best place for a person diagnosed with sickle cell to sit? Over the wings and back. Mm-hmm. Because you don't feel the G-force the same. And that's also for people with sickle cell trait too, because it's been proven, people have been complaining and telling the truth, and they've been ignored. People diagnosed with the trait also have sickle cell symptoms too, depending on if you go high up and even if the plane is like that. But yeah, high altitude. So on planes,
they have issues with dehydration as well.
Yeah,
a lot of athletes who have sickle cell trait, they fell out and they just don't know. Those of us, and I have the trait, we don't know. Because we don't have the actual full-blown symptoms, but we do.
Yeah.
But we do.
And but the doctors say you don't, but you know you do. You're right.
So it's just a lot of misinformation, what it sounds like, and it's been going on since the beginning of this particular corporation called America. Because this is not a country. This is a corporation.
You're right.
And they're running it just like a deadbeat corporation, that needs to be debunked, in my opinion. But, we got to keep talking about this topic. I'm going to have you back on because you have a lot of passion, a whole lot more to say than what you said. I can feel it. And tell people how they can, correspond with you. I mean, I know you're doing some stuff all over Los Angeles. How can people get in touch or correspond with you?
Yeah, well, I'll give you my cell phone number. You can text me, call me. Act a fool, I'll block you, though.
Okay.
Don't be coming because my time is too important. I'll be saving lives.
That's right.
Hey, let me tell you, I'd be on the phone with people when they're having their transfusion.
Wow.
And then I can hear the person, and I can hear their teeth start chattering. And what I do is I call the nurse's desk and ask somebody to get in there because they're having a bad reaction. But you can call me, 323-620-2050, or you can email me at wscfederation@icloud.com. Let me tell you, I had 3 websites, they all got taken down. Man, I don't be begging for money, but I be telling the truth.
That's right.
I built them myself, and they all got taken down. So I'm like, dang, when I get the time, I'll put them back. But until then, I still got to do me.
Well,
that's my God's work.
Well, you're doing the work, man, and I really appreciate you. And we're gonna have you back on. This was my very, very special guest, Nita Thompson. And God bless you. And thank you for coming on J.R. Perry's Love Drops and sharing this about sickle cell. And as we close, I just want to say peace and love and bless you. Bless you.
Love you. Thank you.
Peace and love.
Ooh, yeah. Sickle cell. Sickle cell. Oh, yeah. Ooh, these people go through so much agony and pain. So many multiple symptoms in their life. They just want to live the same. We got to do something to help them every day. And give them love and give it right now. Too many people dying. We gotta show them love for sickle cell. Sickle cell. We gotta give sickle cell. Oh, sickle cell. Oh, yeah. We gotta cure sickle cell. So many multiple symptoms each and every day. So much pain and agony, as I say, they just wanna burn away. We need to show them love in all our hearts and let them live another day. 'Cause we need to show them love every day. Oh, sickle cell. Sickle cell. We gotta cure it. Sickle cell. Oh, sickle cell. We gotta cure sickle cell. Hey, they just don't understand what these people are going through. So much pain in their body. We gotta do something. We gotta help them, yeah. Oh, we have to do is show some love, and these people will be cured of all of the pain they're going through. Oh.
You see, sickle cell is a very painful disease. I just can't really express the things that these people are going through. Well, just imagine 70 or 80 razors going through your veins. That's a whole lot of pain. So what we need to do, we need to stop and look inside of ourselves, and we need to see if we can help someone else. Because there's people that we forgot about a long time ago. I know they ain't never talked about it on the radio,
But I just want to tell you, sickle cell is a very painful disease. So if you just ever thought about, your pain, well, think about their pain 100% times more. Sickle cell, we have to get rid of it. Sickle cell is such a painful disease. So please. Sickle cell, sickle cell is a painful thing going through your veins. We gotta help these people. Oh, it ain't that way. If we would help today, give some love to some people. Thankfully, yes it is. We gotta help the babies. We gonna do it right now. Sickle cell, Lord, sickle cell. Oh, it's so hard to live a normal life. Man, it's so hard. We just got to give. So hard to do what people can do with sickle cell.
Man, J.R. Perry, tune in next Monday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio.
You arrived just in time to J.R. Perry's Love Drops on 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio. We have fabulous guests, exciting shows, and mind-blowing